Welcome back to Farm and Hammer, everyone. As you can tell, I'm in the truck pulling a trailer, and this is a really exciting video for me as I just purchased a bull. And this bull is a different breed that a lot of people haven't heard of, and once I explain all this, a lot of you are going to think I'm crazy for buying them. So guys, this morning turned out to be a pretty eventful morning. Before I picked up the bull, I was headed there, and the place I was getting it was about 30 miles away roughly, all interstate pretty well. And I had a trailer tire blow out. So here's this thing. Worst part is I drove on it for a while before realizing it. Luckily the other tire, since we've got a dual axle, this tire was holding up, and this is the one that ended up blowing out. So luckily this tire was holding up and it was keeping the rim off the ground. We didn't really do any rim damage, but we got to get a new tire for this trailer now because the spare that I put on there is basically completely dry rotted. So got to get a new tire. Guys, before I end up showing you guys the new bull and unloading him and all of that, we've got some brush hogging to do. We've got some wooded property back there that there's some clearings where there's telephone lines, and all of that needs to be brush hogged. A lot of weeds. It hasn't been touched in over a year, so we're gonna get that bush hogged, and I'm hoping I don't tear anything up on this because there are some telephone poles that the electric company took down, and they're somewhere in those weeds. I'm not exactly sure where they are. before I let him out, I need to make sure we've got all the gates shut, which they are not. One lesson for anyone getting bulls: you never want to bring in a new bull into a group of bulls that has already sorted out who's boss, because that group of bulls is used to each other and they will all pick on the new one. Got the truck and trailer pulled out and the gate shut. Now we're going to take a little look at the new bull. Going to try to explain to you guys the rationale behind buying this bull and kind of the specs on the breed, and maybe you guys will understand a little bit better why I bought him. So you guys may be able to tell from the video how small he is, and right now he weighs about 800 pounds and he is 2 years old, so he's pretty small. And if that doesn't give it away, this bull is a low-line Angus bull, or I guess now they're called Aberdeen Angus. And no, they are not miniature, they don't have dwarfism, anything like that. These are just really small framed full-blood Angus cattle, and these are actually from a research project in Australia years and years ago, and then when they finished the research project they dispersed the herd, and a few of them ended up here in the US, and now there's a whole big herd of them here in the US that a lot of people are, I know there's a breed association now and a bunch of registered stock and all that kind of stuff. So he is a low-line Angus or Aberdeen Angus, whatever you want to call him. I'm probably going to call him low-line because that's what I'm used to calling them. So you may be wondering why the heck I would buy such a tiny bull when we're trying to run a beef farm here. As you guys know, all of my heifers that I bought, they're half Hereford, quarter Angus, quarter Gelby. I bought this bull strictly as a heifer bull. I don't plan on ever using him on cows, but I do plan on potentially keeping some heifers out of him. And I'll tell you why. Lowlines, they throw tiny calves, so they'll have 55, 60 pound calves all day long, even on crossbred cows, full blood cows. So when I put this bull on my heifers, I should have tiny calves. I shouldn't really have any calving issues, and even if a calf is backwards, the heifer should still be able to have it. One downside with having tiny calves, of course, they're not going to grow as much. You can tell his full size, he's probably going to weigh around 1,000, 1,100 pounds. So not a huge breed, and the half-blood calves, they're just going to look like smaller, full-sized Angus cattle. So some other positive things about the breed: low lines, their gestation tends to be about 7 days shorter than a full-sized regular Angus cow. So you will get calves hitting the ground 7 days sooner than you would with any other normal bull. And the other thing about them, since they are so small, they're super efficient. You can grass finish these cattle all day long and they'll finish in 2 years. Whereas if I was trying to grass finish full blood just beef calves, it'd take quite a while unless you had the right genetics. So these cattle, they're super efficient because they're small size, and they can grass finish really easily. So I'm not going to say I'm great at predicting the future or I'm going to be right, but whether or not you agree with this or not, I am guessing by the time I'm about 50 years old, most stores in the US will probably only be selling grass-fed beef. And like I said, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I have a feeling that is the way the world is headed. The people that are going to profit from all this are going to be the ones that capitalize on it early, and so I'm trying to get a grass-based genetic herd going now, so I'm prepared for kind of the market trend that I am seeing. So that's why I got this bull. I plan on keeping some heifers out of them and see how they do, and I may try to grass finish some steers out of them and see how this all goes. See if it's really worth it. So yes, I'll have some grass genetics. The other thing is, with their small size, if I can get some half-blood low-line cows, I can run more cows per acre, and sure, their calves are going to be smaller at weaning, but per acre I will raise more beef. So that's the idea behind it. These calves won't get docked to the sale barn. They're big enough, they won't look like miniatures at all. Just to give you an example of how that kind of works, if one 1,300-pound cow will wean off a 550-pound calf, if I've got 3 of those big cows, I can run 4 of these half-blood low lines. The lighter weight calves are going to bring more at the sale barn, and in total I should theoretically come out better with 4 smaller calves than 3 bigger ones. So I think I can justify it. I think it'll come out in the long run that I will be more profitable doing it this way. But that remains to be seen. Like I said, I could be just totally crazy and out of it. And this may be a complete waste of money and time. But we're gonna try it. And that's why I'm trying it on heifers, to see if this works, because no one complains about small calves on heifers. So anyway, that's the idea behind it. This bull is actually not a full-blood low line. He is a 5/8 low line. So he's still pretty small, but he's not a full-blood low line. So that's the story on the new bull, the new breed that we are bringing to the farm here. My dad probably thinks I'm totally nuts, and along with all the neighbors, but once again, I may be totally wrong in the long run, but I'm guessing the world's going grass-fed, whether we like it or not. So